Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, October 30th, and I'm coming with this second episode, man. Um, I got a lot to unpack here today. Uh, cause I got a big question. Is systemic racism, discrimination, police brutality, etc., is that what holding black people back in 2022? Before I get into this, I would like to start by saying that I'm pro-black. Now, before y'all jump off the bridge, because I said I'm pro black, I'm a different kind of pro black. I'm black conservative pro black. I'm pro black that is against abortion, which black people lead in abortion. 1,800 black babies are killed every day inside the womb. As a matter of fact, in the last year or two, I want to say 2020 or 2021 or both years. I know one of those years for sure, and I believe it's 2021. More black babies were killed inside the womb in New York than born. I'm the pro black who believe that black on black crime needs to stop and is completely out of control. I'm the pro black that believes that 70% of black children are being raised without their father is a huge problem. I'm pro black that believes to help one another instead of down talking each other, um, defaming each other, hating on each other, etc. That's the pro black I am. Just to be clear, I'm not the pro black to blame white people for our problems. I'm not the pro black person that feels like blacks are more superior. I don't hate white people. As a matter of fact, I love white people just as much as I love black people, as well as I love any other race of people, because the word of the Lord says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And your neighbor is anybody outside of your body. But I'm the pro black that sees a problem in the black community, and being the fact that I'm black and everybody that I know black. Now, I mean, let me take that back. Not everybody that I know black, but everybody that's connected to me, bloodline wise, is black. I intend to marry a black woman one day. If that be in the cards, God, but I'm gonna let God pick my wife. Whatever wife he choose, whatever color she be, I'm cool because it's sent by God. So I just want to get those few things out there real fast on what kind of pro black I am. I'm not the pro black like Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump, um, Al Sharpton, and none of those losers. I'm not that kind of pro black that blame white people for our problem. White people is not our problem. But I don't want to say that right now because that's kind of like answering a question to my video. But my whole point of this video is because I got the answer already. So my point of this video is to help y'all understand that systemic racism, discrimination, and police brutality and all these things are not what's holding the black people back. Now I want to start by saying that, do racism exist? Yes, it does. It exists in all races. Um, but we just gonna speak on blacks right now. Are there people that's racist toward black? Yes. Um, have black people ever been um brutality by police? Now, I want to add context to that. I will say yes, but I want to add context to that for the simple fact that majority of times, and I'm saying this not only from my personal experience, but from statistics, majority of the time when something happens to a black person where they beat by police, killed by police, they could have avoided that. Now also, I've been having running I had running in from the law since I was 12 years old. And I have had three bad experiences with police. One was white. I think he was racist from the way he was acting towards me, and I was being completely positive towards him. And the other two bad experiences came from blacks, two black officers. Just to clear that up. Um, But we understand that not just so much as cops in every walk of life, whether it be churches, hospitals, anything you have in life, they're gonna have good preachers, bad preachers, good doctors, bad doctors, good police, bad police. But I do stand on the fact that it's way more good police officers than it is bad. But I do want to acknowledge that some of those things do exist. Like and systemic racism is, basically like people using their power to put people that look like them in position over another race. And a lot of time black feel like they the victim of that. And it is a thing. It's not just not a thing. Let's be clear on that. So I wanted to start off by saying that I wanted to start off by saying that systemic racism, um, all these things do exist. They're not invisible. It's not like they don't exist. But the question is, are that holding black people back? These things exist, but they are like a leaky faucet. Let's use that for example. Say for instance you have a house, right? And you have a leaky faucet in the house. Now we understand that that leaky faucet can be annoying. If it's not taken care of, it can run the water bill up. So it is a problem that needs to be addressed. It is a problem that needs to be addressed. I want to repeat that, right? But abortion, which is killing 1,800 lives in the womb every single day in America. Black on black crime, which is completely out of control. And everybody that listen to this know that. 70% of black children are being raised without their father. And whether it's a girl or boy, that is a nightmare. And it has so much that leads, it's so much bad that come from out of that in a black child's life or any child's life, but I'm speaking about black right now. And so that abortion, the black on black crime, the drug dealing in our own community, because let's be honest, these drug dealers out here, they might make money off every race, but they really make money off their own people, right? Um, the abortion, this is the fire in the bedroom. So I want to ask y'all, if you got a home and you got a leaky faucet and you got a fire in the bedroom, which one are you going to focus on first? This is why I tell y'all, people like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, just to name a few of the race hustlers, which is pretty much everybody that's black that's in politics on the Democratic side today, is telling black people that white people is their problem. And this is how you know these people is not for black people. Even though some of the blacks, and not all, but most of the black celebrities who have a platform, whether they're a rapper, actor, and they telling black people, "Oh, y'all oppressed." These people are not for the black community. These people do not care about the black community. Because if they cared, LeBron James and these morons, if they cared about the black community, they would tell them, "Listen, stop killing each other. Stop it." If they cared about black people, they would tell them, look, mothers, stop aborting your children. And they love to say, well, what if she got raped or what if she incest? 1.5% of all abortions are due to incest. So we're not going to play that game. Black women lead in abortion. They killing 1,800 babies a day. And you're not going to tell me that that's all incest and rape. Only 1.5% is incest and rape. That's very, very small percentage. And so LeBron James, they would be using a big mouth, and all these race hustlers, Al Sharpton, Benjamin, they would be telling black people, stop aborting your babies, stop killing each other, stop raising your children out of having children out of wedlock and raising them without their father, which is a very bad issue. This is why a lot of black men is getting killed in the streets by police because they raised by a single mother. And women, let me show you something about women. Women are very, very important. They're just as important as the man. I want to be clear. They're just as important. But the thing about it is, because I don't want people to take it that I'm saying, oh, black women, I mean, not women ain't, no, women are very important. Very important. But they're important for their particular. They're important. Excuse me 1 second. They're important for their particular role, which is to nurture the child, teach the child. Um, um, Women are as important to the child as the father. But just like if a single father raised the child, now we know that statistics say that single fathers raise more successful children than single mothers, and I'm about to get into that too. But the father is the structure. The father is the strength. The father is the one who brings understanding, strength, structure, discipline to the family. And without him, most women, not all, but 90% of women are not capable of doing that. And if they do, they have to overexert themselves. But I want to go back to what I was saying before I switch lane. This is why a lot of just one reason how important it is for a black father in the home. You know, a lot of black men is getting killed by police because they didn't come up with a father. And what these mothers will do, I know what I'm talking about. What these mothers will do to their sons is they will tell their sons 50 times to do something. And on that 50th time, when the son don't do it, they, get into this rage and get into like an abusive mode, and they might slap the boy or punch the boy or whatever. And so, and he not, and by him being raised by his mother, treating him that way, he's used to people telling him to do something over and over again. And so once he gets to a certain age, to the point where he on his own, not on his own, maybe living on his own, but he moving in the streets and going places on his own, 17, 18 years old and older, and he didn't come up with a father in the home, what begins to happen is he get pulled over by the police. The police raise his voice, or the police give him a direct verbal order, and he telling the police, especially in the time we living in now where police is so demonized, police telling him put his hand on the driver's seat. I mean, put his hand on the steering wheel, get out of the vehicle. And he is, what I did, what I did, what I did. Like he talking to his mother who loved him. This cop does not care about you. Not saying that the cop is evil. I'm not demonizing the cop. And the cop cares about people. Most cops, because they got evil and everything, but most cops care about the public. They're public servants. But I'm saying that he don't have the love for you your mama got. And so he's not going to tell you 3 and 4 times what to do. And so now altercation ensues with you and the officer. Most of the time it's physical. I mean, most of the time it's verbal, but it can turn physical if you're resisting. And then now we have an issue because this young man never respected authority. He wasn't taught to respect authority because the man wasn't in the home. See, that's another thing. The man teaches the child to respect authority. The man teaches the child to respect authority. The woman is not capable of doing certain things. The woman was not put here to lead. And we always, and for me, like I said, everything for me come from, come from my wisdom, and everything come from God and come from the Bible. The Bible is very important. And the first story in the Bible tells us a lot. Now, people can play this game, oh, I don't believe in the Bible. We don't know who wrote it. The man, that's fine. You can believe what you want to believe, but I believe the Bible. It's not a coincidence that the woman was the one who was tricked by the snake. It wasn't the man. Even in the New Testament with Jesus, I tell this to people all the time. Now, I want to be clear. We know that God can call anybody and use anybody. We know that in the last days, the Bible say God gonna pour his spirit out on all flesh, sons and daughters gonna prophesy. And so God gonna use women and men at this point. So I want to be clear on that. But it's not a coincidence. It's not no such thing. It's a reason why Jesus chose 12 disciples, and none of them was women. Women are not put here to be in situations where they're going to have to make serious decisions, because that's not their position. Their position is to be the soft side. And so when they raising children alone, it's too soft. It's all soft and no hard, and that's bad. All hard and no soft is bad too, but it's better than all soft and no hard. And that's what it is being raised by a mother. And so, but I kind of got off to the subject, but let me go back to the drawing board. Is systematic racism holding people back? And so if these people, these fake black leaders, like I said, Benjamin Crump and but he not really a leader. He's a ambulance chaser. Anytime somebody get killed by the police, he on the scene. He's making big old press conference, but every day in Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, Florida, New York, where all these blacks is dying like flies, never hear his mouth. So Al Sharpton, just all these people who stated blaming the white man, and Lizzo and all these privileged people, because black people and LGBT people is the most privileged people in America in 2022. You cannot say nothing about them, and yet they can say anything about the white man and whoever else they want to say, but you can't say nothing about them. White comedians can't even have fun no more. White people on the radio, white people on news channel, they gotta watch their mouth. Like, because if it say anything about black people or LGBTQ people, it's cancel culture time. And that's just absurd. But, and so, if these people cared about you, see, they got people like the Black Conservative Party, and people say that, oh, black conservatives hate white people. They're the black white supremacists. They the right hand of white supremacists. Well, all of the black conservatives I know is telling blacks to stop killing each other, stop bringing children in the world without a father, stop aborting their baby. So if this is what white supremacists is telling them to say, or if they quote unquote, if we quote unquote the right hand of white supremacists, and we doing that to get cool with the white man, you should like the white man. If the white man is using us to tell you what to do to improve yourself, y'all should love the white man and the white supremacists. And it bothers me so much about that is they'll say that black conservatives hate their own race, and because the constructive criticism that we give, which if people would listen to us and stop having babies out of wedlock, bringing them in the world with no father, stop aborting our babies, stop killing each other. If we would stop doing those things and people would listen to us black conservatives saying that, their life would be better. Their life would improve. Not to mention leaving the Democratic plantation, who have never done nothing for black people. But that's a whole nother video. But what I'm saying is, they don't say that about the rappers, the female rappers who telling your daughters to be prostitutes. They don't tell that to the male rappers who telling your children to sell dope, sell fentanyl, with ESTG say a fentanyl to change your life, and they not saying nothing about them telling each other to kill each other and smoke each other in a gar. They not that. How come they not the right hand of white supremacy? How come they not the ones who being looked at as the evil to their own race? They celebrate it. That's always what bothers me, and that just shows how um the hypocrisy of the black community, and why it's hard for us to overcome the situation that we're in. And I sometimes don't know if we are. Now, some of us are, because see, I wasn't always a black conservative, right? I was a liberal at one time too. And so, we come, so it is hope. Because if it was hope for me, I know if I can change into the person I am today, I thank God first and foremost. But it could happen to anybody. They just got to hit the right person that that they can listen to and understand in their way. And so, you know, that's always what bothered me though. You know what I'm saying? It's like why the rappers who don't push nothing positive to the black girls and black boys, why they not talked about? Why they not, oh, they hate they people. Why they not treated how the black conservative treated? And so they might say, well, so going back to the topic, is systemic racism holding blacks back? Let's dive into that. Whether you want to start off in the jailhouses, whether you want to start off in the workplace, wherever you want to start off. Let's start off with the hood. Well, they got more police in the hood than they got on the white side. That's why more of in jail. First and foremost, police job is to protect and serve. And everybody know in the inner city is where the most crime is. So coincidentally, that's where police are supposed to be. It's supposed to be more police in an area where it's higher crime versus another area. Just so happen the area might be full of blacks. I wonder, but hey, it is what it is. The area where the most crime is, that's where the most cops supposed to be. And that's in the hood where black people at, so be it. Has nothing to do with race. Then the next thing they'll say, well, I could prove systemic racism alive because there's more black people incarcerated than white people. You know why there's more black people incarcerated than white people? Very simple. Let's just talk about drug dealers. Like we'll start off with drug dealers. Black drug dealers will be on social media with lots and lots and bundles of money, jewelry, chains, necklaces, watches, all kind of cars, all kind of stuff. This the stuff they will post on social media. You know, I tell people all the time, I say if I knew what I knew now, if I knew that when I grew up, they was gonna have social media where people get on social media and tell on themselves, I would have chose the whole another line of business. I'd have went to being I'd have been an FBI or CIA agent. And that's all I would have did was watch social media, and that's how I got the people in jail. Because right now, all you gotta do is go on Instagram, and everybody on Instagram trying to show everybody else on Instagram who got the most money, who got the most packs, who doing the most trapping. And I'm not talking about the rappers, because the rappers, whatever they doing, they got a cover up. If they doing something, I don't know. But I'm talking about for the regular dudes in the hood, riding these big cars, rocking all these designer clothing, all these jewelry, and just doing all that. They have no job, and then they think the police stupid. They think these people who stupid, and then not to mention the devices that they record these activities on. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, and that's a whole nother something we'll have to dive in. Like people think that these smartphones came out for to better help their lives, and I do think that was one reason, right? I do think that was one reason. And don't get it wrong, smartphones do make our lives a lot easier. But smartphones came out not so much to help our lives easier, to help with the judicial system, because the judicial system is a business. Lawyers, everybody got to get paid. The judicial system is a business, and crime on a cell phone, people just don't know the stuff that these people can tap in your cell phones and listen to. They can tap into your cell phone cameras and watch all kind of stuff, right? People don't know these things, right? And so when you go to why are more blacks in prison, first and foremost, America has only between 13 and 15% of America's population is black, and that percentage of blacks commit 50. I'm putting like half of this, and this is crazy, bro. Like this is just because you got white people. I think they 60 some percent, and all the other races. But we only 13 to 15% of America, and yet we commit not over, we commit 50% of all crime in the United States of America. That is absurd, right? So that's one reason why most of us in prison. But the next reason why most of us are in prison, let me show you something about black people. Black people, and I know a whole bunch of them. I grew up with. Black people will be selling more dope than the law allow, have hundreds of thousands of dollars, and will not get a lawyer. Not white folks. White folks. One thing about white folks, excuse me, when they doing something illegal, and I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them, when they doing illegal activities, they have a lawyer on retainer. And not to mention, it's another thing. See, blacks, when they go to jail, most of them can't call their grandma. Most of them can't call their mama and say, hey, mom, hey, grandma, hey, dad, I need a lawyer. Because they mama and daddy and lawyer and grandma, they living on fixed income. They ain't got nothing like talking about for the most part. We know we got some black that's straight, but I'm saying for the most, and even the ones who, even the blacks who got family members that's doing good in life, if they get jammed up in this situation and call their people, you know what they people gonna tell them? Oh, you should have been thinking about that when you're doing that. Or it's gonna be a whole line of foolishness. Not the white folks. Let's just say they don't have a lawyer on retainer and they get caught up. One call, that's all. And I'm talking literally one call, because all they gotta do is call mama. And if mama and daddy don't got it, mama and daddy gonna reach out to the aunties, the uncles, the grandparents, and they don't all have it, and nobody don't have it individually, they gonna come together. They gonna come together to put the finances and the necessary resources to help their people, no matter how bad the person is or what they did. They'll judge you when you get home. They'll deal with you when you get home. But they main focus gonna be on getting you out of that situation or getting you the best defense in that situation. That's how white people are. And so we go to court and we got a public defender, and we all know how that's gonna turn out. And they go to court and they go to court and they go to court and they got a lawyer. So that's why it's more black people in prison. One, because they commit more crime than any other race. Two, because they don't take care of their necessities, like have a lawyer on retainer. And three, they don't have nobody to call to help them out. And I also want to add this. This is why I tell black parents all the time. Listen, I do support your children playing sports. I feel like you should have your children in some kind of sport. And the reason why, not to go to the NBA or the NBA, I mean, not to go to the NBA or the NFL. If that happens, amen. But have them in some kind of sport, because playing sports at a young age, growing up and playing sports, it teaches you discipline, accountability, responsibility, how to work as a team. It teaches you life lessons that you need. And those life lessons, like I say, everybody not gonna make it, but some people could. Those, if they start out young playing sports, not only will they learn all those important lessons that I just said, it could possibly get them a scholarship in school. It can get them put in a better high school. It can do things for them. That's why I tell parents always, especially your boys, always have your son in some type of sport. And it's not for them to go to the NBA or the NFL. If that happens, like I say, amen, it's a blessing. But you want them to learn accountability, responsibility, and discipline. And sports will teach them that. But everybody want to focus on that or let their son focus on being the next rapper instead of raising their children and telling them stop demonizing police and go be a police officer. So that way you can police your own neighborhood that you grew up in, because why? You understand your people better than other races. Whereas the other race might be scared into grabbing their gun or taser, you wouldn't be scared because this is the community that you grew up in. So you would be more prone to talk to the person, and the person would be more prone to talk to you because you look like them. Just like same thing with the judge. Most of the time, the judge gonna be what? White, and he might be more lenient on a little white boy than he is a little black boy. And it's not a race thing, it's a culture thing. People are always going to be more lenient on someone who look like them. It's just a compassion that automatically comes up inside them. Because when he see little Timmy up there, when a white judge see little Timmy, it's somebody in his family who look like little Timmy, whether it's his son, grandson, nephew. He can see that. But when he see Tyrone, all he think about is the stuff that he see about people that look like Tyrone. This can be Tyrone, first offense, never did nothing in his life. But because of what Tyrone represents, a young black man, and what black men represent in America at this point, we have to be honest about that. He don't have the same compassion. And I'm not saying this in every situation, but this is in most situations. So why don't we start sending our children to school to be judges instead of trying to force them to be a LeBron, or force them to be a Jordan, or force them to be a Cam Newton, or force them to be an NBA YoungBoy? Why don't we send them to college and stuff them from a youth, telling them, look, you need to be a judge. That way, when you get in a judge, you can help your people. You can be fair. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that, hey, if there's a black child, if there's a black child come in your courtroom for a charge, you treat him different than a white child. That's not what I'm saying, because I'm all about fair. Because like I said, we supposed to love everybody outside our body as we love ourselves, as the word of God said. What I'm saying is, it would be more compassion if a black judge was up there sentencing a young black man, because sometimes we need compassion when we make mistakes. You got 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old first offenders, and they commit bad crimes, but they getting the keys thrown at them when they just young, and they might have made a mistake and did something, and they deserve, in my opinion, some compassion. But they not able to receive that because the person who's sitting on the bench sentencing them, the people in the jury box sentencing them, don't understand they struggle, don't understand that the environment that they was raised in, that they didn't pick, caused them to do these things. I was looking at a brother. He came out with a series on YouTube, and the name of the series was "Black Mothers is the Worst Mothers in America." And you know, I watched that, and it was like the whole series is like 9 hours. And I watched it and watched it, and it's just so much irrefutable. I'm talking about, like, it won't sit right with somebody who can't deal with a kind. One thing, that's another thing, but I'm gonna slow down. And when you watch this, your heart just go out. Your heart just go out, because you're saying to yourself, this is why we see the situation in our black community and why we hate each other so much, why we want to kill each other, because look who we was raised by. A lot of these black kids, man, they not getting no love in the home. They brought here just for financial aid, food stamp, welfare, Section 8, income tax. They not brought here to be loved. They just brought here. And so then we expect these same individuals to grow up and can be constructive citizens of the society. It can happen, but it's just hard. They got a whole bunch of hurdles that they're gonna have to jump over, and it's not even their fault. And coming up in these Section 8 neighborhood, which majority of time is in the hood, they already it's hard, man. It's almost impossible for them to make up out of that without getting killed or going to prison. And so, and when you tell black people these things, like I said, I watched that, and it was very hurting and depressing. But I'm sure, because I know how my people, I don't know my flowers, but I know black people. And black people, and this is another reason why we're in a bad situation that we're in, because we cannot accept facts, and we don't like to take accountability. We refuse to take accountability. Oh, the judge gave him all his time because he was black. If he was white, they wouldn't have did it. First of all, I hate the "if we was white" thing. Because first of all, you're not white. You'll never be white. So that whole thing, if they was white thing, that just needs to stop. But he went in front of the judge, and the judge gave him 50 years. Well, no, it wasn't because he was black, mommy. It was because he went in front of the judge 10 times for the same charge. Oh, she got fired. It's because she black. No, 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 no. She didn't get fired because she was black. She got fired because she was late 5 times in 1 month and no call, no show. Wasn't because she was black. And when you tell them that, they get mad at you. No, no. This is why, baby. It's not because they was racist. It's because you was. It's because they was black. And so those type of statistics does push the systemic racism to certain things, because certain things white people don't even want to take a chance at this point in certain situations. Because it's like it's almost like the snake analogy, for example. We know all snakes are not bad. We know all snakes don't kill. All snakes not poisonous. But who knows what kind of snake is what? So let's just stay away from all of them. And this is some white people mindset toward black people. And people are not perfect. People is not Jesus. So you can say, well, oh, they wrong for that. Yes, I agree. But this is what black people have earned at this point. Everywhere they go you can almost expect foolishness to ensue. I was watching NASCAR. Now NASCAR has always been a sport that not too many black people was a part of NASCAR. Or I don't believe any. I don't know any was ever a part of it. But here you go. They got a black dude coming on NASCAR by the name of Bubba Smollett. Oh my bad, I don't want to call him that. Bubba Smollett Wallace. You know, and he comes into this sport. Next first thing he does is he does this whole somebody put a noose in his garage, which was a hoax. Come to find out, it was just when it was investigated, come to find out it was a rope that was in his garage, and it had been there. He just and then but not to mention that a couple of weeks ago, now he on the track. Now I just want to show you how black people. This is why black people are in some situations treated with systemic racism. Because listen, now this man coming to a NASCAR, right? Now we never had nothing like this ever happen before. Now you got the situation where guys will play bumper cars on the track, and it might turn bad. So a guy accidentally bumped him, or he felt like it was an accident, or whatever the situation was. And and so what he does is, instead of continue a race, he takes his car and wrecks this guy's car on the track, and both of them crashes, and he could have killed this guy because, of course, black people are overly emotional, and he got overly emotional. So that wasn't it. When the cars crashed, they both get out of their car, and he constantly pushing the dude. The dude like, I'm straight. I'm sorry. It shouldn't have happened. He constantly pushing the dude, and I'm looking at it. I'm saying to myself, and black people wonder why. They wonder why when they come, people begin to leave, and they say it's racism. I don't know if it's racism. Is it? Maybe it's being smart at this point. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, as a decent black person that come from the hood and all this. Listen, bro, I don't hang with certain people no more. I don't go certain places no more, because as a decent black person, understanding life and understanding what's going on, I understand when it's a certain when there's a certain setting, and when I mean setting, people, I'm almost know what's gonna come up out of that. And so if I choose to put myself in that situation, well, that's on me. But I choose not to. And so by me having that type of understanding, it makes me understand other races, especially white people. But I'm saying other races. Now I understand. Back then I would have been like, oh, they race. No, 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 they not racist. I'm gonna give you a little story. I went into a place the other day to get an oil change, correct? And I go in there and it's all older white people. I want to say it was like 3 or 4 older white people. And I went in there after all of them. And so I don't know what they was there for. I don't really, I don't know all that, but I know that man came, called me, and said, "What you need?" And I told him what I needed, and he had me out of there fast. And maybe it was just, maybe they had serious things that they took care of. But you know what I think that was behind? I think that was because he said to himself, he is scaring my customers. So let me get him out of here so my customers can feel more safe. My customer can feel more comfortable. And I could have took that as, oh man, because I know what I'm like I said, I'm not all I can't read his mind, so only God can do it. But I'm almost positive that's why he got me up out of there. And like I say, it came to my benefit because I didn't want to be sitting there all day. And I understand. Not saying we supposed to justify it. Not saying that we supposed to justify these things. I want to be clear, but we have to understand. And some things aren't systemic racism. Something isn't racism. If somebody go to court all those time for the same charge, it's not racism when he get the book through at him. If you miss work 3 times this month and the white owner fire you, it's not racism. It's because you missed 3 days of work. And so we got to start to understand, because it's like today, every single thing turns out about race, and it's getting so tasteless. And as a black man, it's an embarrassment. Everything is about race. They bring up race and so much stuff until it doesn't even make sense. Like I'm listening to Brain Dead Tiffany Cross and Brain Dead Jamel Hill the other day talking about whenever Tua Tagovailoa, the Miami Dolphins quarterback, um got miss he got miss his medical report. They misdid his medical report and allowed him to come back to play football earlier than what he was supposed to, and he ended up getting a concussion, knocked out on the field. And they made it, oh, they only did that because he's a black player and they don't care about black players. Tiffany Cross, Jamel Hill, you dumb, you fools, don't you understand? Tua Tagovailoa is not even black. And so it's to the point where they reach, and reaching ain't even the word. Reaching is not even the word. And so it's like at this point, is it racism or is it racism or is it something that we have earned? And when I say we, it may not be you individually, but people that look like you. For example, like me, I got tattoos, and if you see me, I don't know what you would think, right? But I have graduated that mindset, and I have been saved and filled with the Holy Spirit, which is automatically changes me into a whole other person. I've been born again. I'm no longer the old person that I was. But white people don't know that. Now, once they have a conversation with me, if they was to, and when I say, I'm not gonna say white people, any other person, if they have a conversation with me, um, then that would be one thing. But some people, they just don't even want to have dealing with blacks. And like I say, even decent blacks, such as myself, I'm just not, you know, I don't want to be where a lot of blacks at this point. And I'm very sad to say that because I love being black. I love my black skin. I love the texture of my hair. If I could die and come back and pick my race, I would pick to be black. I only, like I say, and so, um, but it's just at a point now where it's like whatever they are, it says trouble. It says shoot up. It says twerking on top of cars. This is the type of thing that black people are associated with today. The black culture that is very, very, very prevalent in today's society. Everybody loves it. It's dangerous. The black culture is not positive. It's very dangerous. And so, my thing is this, man. Um, so to answer to bring this to a close, you know, it's systematic. It's systemic racism holding black people back. No, it's not. Black people are holding black people back. Man, I got two white friends. This why whenever people start bringing that racism stuff up into it, it kind of angers me, right? I know two white supremacists in Texas. They're part of a white supremacist group called the Aryan Brotherhoods. And I don't know if people are familiar with that particular group. It's a white supremacist group. And I got two guys I work with once upon a time at a chemical plant, and they both white supremacist Aryan Brotherhoods. And these two white men have called me every time, because when you work at chemical plants, You know, you work, you get laid off, you move, go to another city, and that's the life of a plant worker. Every time these dudes go somewhere, they call me and reach out to me and say, "Hey, we got a position for you if you want to come. We got a position for you want to come." These dudes have gave me multiple opportunities, and when I worked with them, they gave me multiple opportunities, multiple they always did nothing but good for me. They made it clear that they really don't like black people. They don't like they it's not that they don't like black people, the person. Like when they see a black, oh, I hate them. They don't like what black people stand for. And once you get to know one of those type of people, you know that's what it's about with them. It's not that they hate black people, but they hate what black people stand for. And so they don't even really have no dealings or use for just dealing with them, right? But you know, if they work with them, they gotta work with them. And you know, white people, they able to keep their feelings to the side 'cause they're not emotional like black people. So they're able to work with people and be able to put that to the side because this is business. And if you're a good worker, you're a good worker. And if you're a good worker, you make them look good. So when they go to these other places, they will reach out to you because you're a good worker. They don't care about the skin color when it comes to that because it's not the person that they don't like, it's the things that that person or that group of people stand for. Yet, no black person that I can think of um, have ever gave me an opportunity, have ever called me for a job, have ever did nothing but talk about me. Every time some lips that was talking about me, they was black lips. Every hand that ever tried to harm me was a black hand. And so this is why I take these things personal when it comes to even I grew up with, you know, and if you look at my social media and you end up looking me up and find out who are my two best friends coming up, one was white, one was black. The black one was always in competition with me, always trying to backdoor me with women. The white one was always in my corner, never competed with me, wanted to see me do bad so good sometimes that he would make sacrifices just to help me out when I would go through a little something back in the days when we was coming up. And it just was a whole it was I would hear these, I would be with these two dudes all the time because they were my best friend. It was just two different feelings being with each one of two different dynamics. And so when people start doing the whole race thing, it kind of bothers me. You know, so like I said, I had three bad interactions with police. Two of them was with black people, and one was with white. And so, systemic racism is not holding black people back. Black people are holding black people back. Think I'm lying? Have you ever worked for a black boss? Do gooder than one of your family members. Do gooder than one of your friends, and you'll see who holding you back. You'll see it's not the white man. And in a situation like I said, dealing with court, dealing with jailhouse, dealing with the workplace. Well, maybe systemic racism do come in and play some time, but it's not just out of the thin air. It's things that have been earned. They earn this. They earned it. They earned that when you they gotta show I listen to every day and white people call and I've heard white people say when they doing when they looking through applications, if it's a black name, they don't even hire. They'll skip over the name. That's why I be telling parents, I mean, you name your kid whatever you want to if you're gonna have something in place for them. But naming your children all these ghetto names, Tyrannique and Kate Kyron and all these ghetto, these people gonna look at these applications. I'm telling you what I'm telling. These people gonna look at them applications and skip over it or probably throw it away because they don't want you at their establishment with your foolishness. And you particularly might not be one, but you represent with your name, the way you look. They got black men with dreadlocks that is good, civilized black men. They got black women with pink hair and all these different colors of hair that's civilized, but majority of them are not. And so when you have a certain name that associates with a certain type of model of person, that's all they think about, right? And so they don't want you in their business arguing and fighting and doing this with the customer, just completely making their business look like the ghetto. They don't want that. And so when y'all have these names, y'all naming y'all children these crazy wild names, I just want to let y'all know y'all hurting them for the future. So hopefully y'all have something set up for them the way they don't have to work for nobody, or they go get a degree and end up working in a field and be successful that way, because the world ain't getting no better. And then not to mention these days everything is about racism, so hiring a black person is just really not good for business, because anything you deal with them, you got to handle them with kid gloves. And if not, same thing with LGBTQ, but you won't know that by their name. But dealing with the LGBTQ community and the black community at this point, I wouldn't want to hire. If I'm saying if I'm in another race, you got to look at people. And that's a strength, and most people don't have, to be able to look at stuff not just from your point of view, from another person's point of view. What benefit is it for one of these people to hire a LGBTQ or a black person when the first thing happen or go wrong, it's going to be brought up about, oh, I was a transsexual, that's why this happened. I was racism, that's why it happened, which is it probably wouldn't work, because these people keep paper trail. They keep it on file when you didn't come to work. They keep it on file when you no call, no show. So they'll have something to cover themselves, and they might win the lawsuit, but just the bad press that they're gonna get from that situation is negative to business. People people protest and all that's negative. They might win the law, they might win the battle but lose the war. And this is what they take the chance of doing when they want to hire blacks or LGBTQ. And so I'm about to wrap this up. Um, and hopefully you got some answers out of this. Hopefully you got something out of this. Um, but hopefully I gave y'all understanding on, not only understanding, but an answer. Is systemic racism holding black people back? It's not. It is definitely not holding black people back. Black people holding black people back. When black people begin to get like these other races and put each other, not put each other first over no other race. I'm not into black supremacy either. But I'm saying when black people begin to love and give a people opportunities, like for example, I've worked at these chemical plants, and when you work at these chemical plants, it's all about connections, right? The Mexicans, they'll get a connection to get a brother or sister or friend in. White folks, everybody do that, but not the black. You know what the blacks are saying? I've heard them say it. Man, I had to get it out of the mud. Let them get it out of the mud too. So yeah, another thing that I heard one day, I'll never forget this. Had a black man at the plant. He's a kind of older guy, probably in his 40s or 50s. He's been working the plant a long time. So I'm sure he got a lot of money saved up, because the plant, you get paid a lot of money working in those plants. And he was out there saying, and he didn't understand how stupid he was looking. And I know those other races of people, they probably wasn't laughing at him then, but they was laughing. He probably thought they were laughing at it, laughing with him, but they was laughing at it. And he out there bragging and boasting, saying about how, oh yeah, man, I ain't leaving my kids nothing. They gotta get it how I got it. Ain't nobody, my mom and dad ain't leaving nothing for me, and I made some myself. I ain't working for and see, these other people, that's what they do. These other people, that's what their whole mission is. They go to work, they live a regular life. This is why you see them white folks, they might not have no Mercedes, they might not have none of that, but guess what? They got a nice home, they got a nice truck, the wife got a nice car, but the kid got a trust fund. He got something to start. He got something to look forward. And even though he might not know it as a child, but he gonna have something when he get of age. He got to start. His people they work for their children. They dedicate their whole life to their children. So when they children, come up in the world, they're gonna have something to have a start. We don't even get a start. Now I'm gonna show you another thing. Even the marriage, the white woman, she will stay in the marriage and sleep in another room instead of breaking her family apart until the kid get out. I didn't seen it. They'll wait till the kid get out of high school or graduate college, then they're divorced. They already been divorced basically. not paper wise, but they've been sleeping in separate rooms. Some of them even probably dating other people, but they keep the household together because those other races of people understand how important it is to have a two-parent household. God don't make no mistakes. God don't make no mistakes. Two men can't make no baby. Two women can't make no baby. Only a man and a woman because of, and the seed that a man and a woman bring in this world, that seed needs both parents for different things. Like I say, the woman is important as the father, but both of them have their own important strengths that the child needs to be a well-rounded member of society. Not black women. If they not happy, they taking the kid, the house, the money, and they leaving. And they'll go through life constantly doing this. I've been married 3 times. I was listening to this marriage coach on Instagram a couple of days ago, and she was saying about how if you not happy, leave. And I said so that and she was just speaking the truth. That's why 80% of all divorces are filed by women. You know, we live in a day and age where and all women do it, but mostly black do it. Black women not happy no more. Oh, she just gonna just leave and start over. Leave her marriage. Forget the kid, because it's not about the kids. It's not about all it's about is her happiness. And this is how black women are. Not all, not all, not all, but most. And so, and then here we go with the single parent household and not a kid. Like with the other races, they will make that sacrifice of they will make that sacrifice of not being happy at least until the child is on his own. Not blacks. And so going back to this question, is systemic racism holding black people back? The answer is no. Is systematic racism a thing? Yes. But it's the leaky faucet. Abortion, black on black crime, fatherless homes. That's the fire in the bedroom. So I ask you, if you got a fire in a bedroom in your house and a leaky faucet, which one will you address first? If you got anything if you have a working brain, you're gonna focus on that bedroom that's on fire, because if not, it's gonna consume the whole household and you're not even gonna have to worry about no faucet. And that's what's happening in the community right now. These things we already because we not raised by fathers, the black men killing each other, getting killed by cops, 1,800 babies a day is getting killed in the womb. If we don't focus our attention on that fire in the bedroom, it's gonna consume the whole race. So I thank y'all for listening to me today. And hopefully I gave y'all some answers. And hopefully I gave y'all an understanding on things, because as the word of God saying, all you'll get an understanding. Leave me some comments, what you thought, and I'll catch y'all on episode 3. God bless.